Shalom Lakam, which is peace unto you all. Hi Rod Tawab La Atham Zaakyakam Yawam Man Rachagadar Charlotte, which is good evening. This is your brother Yawan from the GMS camp in Charlotte. Mecham Adam Kaya Hamalakat Hashamayim Kwa Ra, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call Halayim La La Abanawa Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua Bahasham Rachakwadash Wawashana La Zakwanim Na Wamalakim Shor Rachagadar, which is all praises to our Father Yahweh, which means he exists. Bahasham, in the name Yahushua, delivers in double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. So this is an article on, it says, on Fido and Interest Company. It says, what is digital identity? Your guide to digital identity. All right, then it says, a digital identity is a collection of information about a person that exists online. When this information is grouped together, it can provide a digital representation of an individual to help assess services, goods. Once a business has been verified, once a business has verified the identity of the customer. So pretty much, this business Salak for the Salak La Yakaya Kwawal in the background. Forgive me for the noise in the background. All right, continuing on, it says goods once a business has verified the identity of the customer. All right, which essentially these businesses are going to have just like they got in China, like the social credit system or whatever. Pretty much, if you're not in good standing in their specific system, they're going to outcast those people out of society. And then also, these different businesses that have the kind of like they do with the credit system now, like they have a say so, and if they want to like pretty much serve you, or if you're allowed to use their services, So it says, as the world moved online more rapidly than ever before in the last years, fraudsters have also become more sophisticated. Seeing these increasing digital opportunities, digital identity use has become more prevalent and more important. And so has digital identity verification, which they're going to use different means like this, social verification, identity verification, because right now, Ease came up with different things called like cyber attacks. I'm going to get this real fast. This is Shamwath, Exodus chapter 7. We'll give verse 5, and it says, and the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord when I stretch forth my hand upon Egypt and bring out the children of Yasha'Allah from among them. Pretty much going into, the Lord touching and smiting Egypt, which the Lord smiting Egypt 2.0, America, Babylon the Great, which we can see this by way of the different so-called cyber attacks, which the cyber attacks, the plagues, those essentially, even though, Esau is manufacturing them on the left-hand side, it's still cyber attacks, and it's essentially helping bring this place down, because the closer we get to, WW3 and the Karakma being mandated, or the things that pretty much lead up to that, this will be intel in those things that leads up to that, pretty much going into some of them plagues. But it says, digital identity types, it says there are different ways to verify digital identity, ranging from document verification, biometric verification, to database checks. Once a user has verified their identity, this unlocks access to online services like banking, investing, gaming, and travel. So it unlocks them, it allows them to do those different things, so these different companies and these different enterprises are going to allow those with the digital identity to be able to use their services. So it says people can identify themselves online by using different types of digital identity information. They can upload or take a picture of their official ID, or they can verify themselves with biometric scans such as facial recognition, fingerprints, or voice, which all of those, they got, AI now. So that's coming out, the AI, and then also they got the mask, and then the fingerprints, all these things can be, the identity can be taken. So it's going to give Esau that push, to drop that charagma. So it says they can also submit personal identifying information about themselves to be verified against database checks. All right, which all the personal information, name, date of birth, email address, username, passwords, social security number, passport numbers, all these things can be taken. It can be criminals will use that. They'll use those to their advantage. So that's why Esau, is going to drop that charagma. So I'm not gonna go into this whole article, but I will get some precepts. All right. This is Yashaya, Isaiah chapter 36 and verse 6, it says, Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Parai, Pharaoh, king of Matazarium, Egypt, to all that trust in him. Hey, because you got Jake. Right now you got Kamala, however you say that girl name, the lady named Kamala Harris, you know. Pretty much he running for president. Hey, Jake is trusting in America, all right, trusting on his voting system to essentially get the same results, you know. But Jake doesn't want to turn from trusting on Egypt, you know, and that trust represents they pretty much lean on America for sustenance. All right, these different jobs, programs, all right, the society, social constructs. Jake leans on this. Jake abides by that. You see. That's why it says, Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed. Is broken. You know, the Lord is touching this place. All right, going back to Shamwath, Exodus 7 and 5. All right, 2nd Esdras 15. Let me get that real fast. This is 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras chapter 15. And we'll get verse 10. And it says, Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And it's essentially, you know, what's going on. All right, going back to that broken reed, you see, because the Lord is smiting Egypt. All right, he's touching it with plagues. All right, and which the cyber attacks, you know, they was part of those what they was calling polycrises. You know, it was part of the polycrises, which the polycrises, which was crises, I believe they go back to critical, or crises goes back into some type of a state that a particular kingdom is going through. You see, so just a plague, you know. So it says, when Egypt whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. And it's essentially, you know, those that trust on Egypt and don't repent, you know, they're ultimately going to take that charagma. All right. That's why it says, and pierce it. All right, which when you go into his word for pierce, all right, and it says, naquab, it says pierce, bore, or point. It says be pricked off. It says to pierce. It says with holes, all right, and you have to, it says to puncture, all right, to pretty much to make a hole, you know, so showing you that it's going to be a subdermal device, you know, because you got guys that's pretty much bucking up against, you know, it being something that goes under the skin, you know. But continuing on, let's get Revelation chapter 13, and we'll get verse 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as not will worship the image of the beast should be killed. Hey, so the image pretty much going into the image is the image is the system. All right, and it says that the image of the beast should both speak, and how it speaks is through the different laws and stuff that's pretty much brought forth. You know, that's how the image of the beast speaks. All right, and it says, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So those that don't want to get along with the system are essentially they're going to be outcasted and eventually killed. You know, that's why it's going to be some martyrs of the elect. You know, because they're not going to take that charagma. All right, and it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, which it can be in the right hand or it can be in like the left hand. You know, it can be anywhere. You know, because when we go to Revelation chapter 14, it tells about, you know, those that receive it. All right, so it says, or the name of the Salak, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the charagma or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And going back to this, it said that pretty much the businesses had the choice to, you know, ultimately, or Salak, it pretty much went into how having the identification, the digital identification, was going to allow people to participate in different services. You see, so by the time it gets to when the charagma is dropped, you know, it's pretty much a Esau works in steps or phases, you know. So it goes from the digital ID to the charagma, because with the charagma, all right, if one doesn't have that, they're not going to be able to participate in society, you know. because it's pretty much going to be needed to shop, if somebody want to go to a movie, all right, you got your barcode, So it says, verse 17 says, "And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the charagma or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, which, if I'm not mistaken, that 666, the stigma, I believe that part goes into to pierce, So let me get this. This is Revelation chapter 14. We'll get verse 9, and it says, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his charagma in his forehead nor in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb." You see, so if you take that charagma, if anybody takes that charagma, that they're going to be destroyed. And that's essentially what the lake of fire is, you see, because hell isn't scriptural. All right, the lake of fire is talking about this place being nuked. All right, and it's going to burn for a long time, and nothing's going to dwell over here other than the desert creatures, So, just want to go into that. Adonai Tazah, Zabanaya Pa, Lord's will, there's a beautiful edification through the Spirit. Wa Adonai Tazah, Atam Yashlagalatawab, Lord's will, you have a good night. Wa Shalom Lakam, which is peace to you all. Shalom.